I dated my ex-boyfriend, John, for 4 years and got serious enough that we started planning for our future, wedding, kids, etc. I thought we were pretty happy, but he dumped me suddenly last year. I tried to figure out what went wrong, but he said it was personal and that I should respect his space. During this time, my best friend Stacy and her fiance Tom were my rocks, letting me crash at their place and being overwhelmingly supportive and loving. When Stacy asked me to be her maid of honor, I thought it was a no-brainer and happily took on the task. Fast forward to what happened this weekend, the morning of the wedding. Tom asked me to meet him for breakfast super early in the morning before all of the wedding festivities. I thought it was weird, but I assumed he wanted me to pass on something to Stacy. What happened instead was that Tom let me know that a few days prior, Stacy admitted to him that she had an affair with John, which led to my breakup. He said that Stacy wanted to come clean, to start their marriage fresh, and that he was forgiving her to move forward. He had gone back and forth between telling me and finally decided to spill the beans. I guess he had expected me to forgive Stacy too, because the affair was so long ago. The opposite happened, and I just walked out on the wedding. And ended up causing a huge mess, because I was basically running the whole show. Stacy made me do everything, so she didn't even know what was happening at certain times or who to call. Not only that, but everyone realized that the maid of honor wasn't there. She had headshots and bios of the party on her wedding page, and the news of the affair eventually got out because her cousin knew John. Stacy and Tom have been slandering me online now, saying I ruined their once-in-a-lifetime moment. Some of their friends are on their side, saying I should have handled the situation more privately and at least stuck out the wedding, since it was so last minute. I don't know what Tom expected, but either way, I've been getting bombarded with text, and I heard that Stacy's been so upset she's had to take time off work, making me feel like an idiot, especially since I've just been ignoring her calls. So, wait, your best friend had an affair with your then fiancé of 4 years. He breaks up with you over it, canceling your happily ever after. She asks you to be her maid of honor, but everyone's upset with you because you found out she slept with your fiancé, and you can't suck it up for a few hours to make her day great to start her happily ever after? Not the idiot. Also, best friend who cheated on OP with her fiancé was the shoulder OP was crying on, not knowing she betrayed her. Keep your enemies closer, they say. Poor Stacy and Tom have both been slandering me online now, saying that I ruined their once-in-a-lifetime moment. No, Stacy, you ruined your once-in-a-lifetime moment by cheating on Tom and having intimacy with my boyfriend, John. You cheated on your future husband, and you cheated on your maid of honor. You betrayed everyone close to you. I'd copy and paste that everywhere on the internet, every online slander. I'd post it 1,000 times each time she posted anything about me. That would be the boilerplate response. The person you call your best friend went behind your back and betrayed you. The karma returned to her like a boomerang, straight to her face. I wonder if Tom did it to get back at Stacy for having an affair. People will endure quite a bit of punishment so they're not humiliated. Tom goes through with the wedding. Everyone finds out she cheated. They get divorced, and Tom's the good guy. He forgave her and gave her a second chance at happiness. And whatever happened that caused the divorce was her fault, and Tom had no choice this time. Any problems that happened at the wedding and reception are obviously not his fault. It's OP and the wife having an argument. He tried to be the nice guy and help them resolve this situation, but OP was unreasonable. If they broke up immediately, everyone would think that Tom was the loser who got cheated on and dumped for another guy. It sounds like Stacy might have told him the day of the wedding so that he wouldn't call the whole thing off without the same exact guilt that OP's feeling. OP, buy a bottle of wine and just laugh at anyone who insults you. You're good. I, female 35, have a teen daughter. My daughter has a late birthday, mid-December, so she's entering her senior year of high school. She's a very smart girl, and I'm proud of her accomplishments, but she's also young and naive in many ways and easily manipulated. She doesn't pay much attention to her surroundings. She can't stand up for herself. She constantly still calls or texts me and her father to help with things. More recently, I've also been concerned about her doing dangerous things or submitting to peer pressure from her friends. I've met them, and they're not good kids. I've told her to stop talking to them, but she refuses and tries to go behind my back. For these reasons, among others, her father and I have decided that we will not let her go off to college as long as she's a minor under our care. This means that she won't be going in the fall because she doesn't turn 18 until that December. I'm not trying to stifle her, but I do want her to be safe. She was recently talking about starting to fill out college applications, and I told her not to bother. I explained that we weren't letting her go until she was old enough to decide for herself. She started crying and yelling at me, but I refused to budge. I don't think I'm being unreasonable, and honestly, her reaction is more evidence of immaturity. But apparently, she texted her aunt, who's been calling me an idiot. Am I the idiot? Edit. I am absolutely willing to let her go to college once she's 18, and we'll pay for it wherever she wants to go. We have the means. How does infantilizing her help her learn to be independent? How does stifling her help her development? You are the idiot. And why isn't she more independent? That's usually the parent's job to ensure that. I also had a December birthday and started college at 17 and was fine. But my parents also taught me how to make decisions and be independent. I get the sense that anytime she tries to be independent, they stop her. It's not that she's stupid or naive. OP just doesn't let her fall down and make mistakes. OP is controlling. Stop helicopter parenting your daughter. A few months more at home won't make her more mature. College will. You don't magically gain all life skills at 18. It's not that they don't let her make mistakes. They simply assume she'll make them and act before she even has a chance to do anything. All they've managed to teach her is learned helplessness. Denying her access to college does not make her safe or less likely to get involved in dangerous situations with less than desirable people. If anything, it'll push her towards a riskier life because she'll become desperate to get away from OP. Ask me how I know. They're punishing her for being the way they made her. Way to send a mixed message. Wait, there's more. She can't stand up for herself. I've told her to stop talking to them, but she refuses and tries to go behind my back. I like that you think people can't see right through you. What a good way of ensuring your daughter doesn't have anything to do with you once she finally does leave the house. I love my sister-in-law, 29, and brother, 31. They have 2 kids, and my sister-in-law, Rachel, was a stay-at-home mom. She worked from home part-time, but also cared for the kids and all the chores. I was over multiple times, and the house was spotless. I thought she was just extra cleaning when she had guests, but no. When I had my kid, she showed me her schedule. She would be up at 5 for meal prep for the whole day. She never stopped, and many of her tips helped me with my home. Now, my brother lost his job, and it was decided that Rachel would go back to work full-time, and he would stay at home. The kids are in kindergarten and 1st grade. He has this on easy mode. I've been over to help sometimes since he just sucks at it. The house is always a mess. The kids are usually late to school. He asks me to drive them after the school talk to him. He doesn't cook. It's just sad. He got into a huge argument with his wife since dinner wasn't done, and she had to make it. He was ranting about how it was unfair and that he was trying. I told him it's pathetic he can't do the basics of what his wife did. He has 8 hours free. He's still doing his hobbies, and he can't keep the house clean. I told him she'd divorce him if he didn't stop being lazy and figure it out. He left after calling me a jerk, and my mom is now on me for what I said. Not the idiot. She worked part-time and did it all. He has no job and can't even somewhat cut it. How the heck were the kids late? I mean, one time can always happen, but consistently? I think being a stay-at-home parent is hard, but with both kids going to school, he should have the time to do most of it. Everyone's the idiot here. There could be a million things going on, and it's just hard to know without being there. Is he depressed because he lost his job? Is he feeling inadequate? Is he feeling resentful because somewhere in the back of his mind, he's struggling with the swap in gender roles? I don't like jumping straight into this assumption, but it certainly isn't unheard of. Or is he simply lazy? Did your sister-in-law give him her schedule? Oh, he somehow has time for hobbies. Interesting. He's an incompetent adult, father, and spouse. The children are school-aged. He has all day to get things done while the children are at school. I used to work with profoundly disabled children. Some couldn't do anything for themselves, and therefore their parents had to do everything for them. The parents still got them to school on time. If he can't do anything, then he's just another mouth that his wife has to feed and another person for her to look after. I'm 34 weeks pregnant and don't have a normal 9 to 5. I was put on bed rest, but that was lifted a month ago, so I started doing dog sitting as a source of income. I had a client who would drop her pup off at 7:30 a.m. and pick her back up anywhere from 8 to 9 p.m. I wasn't even getting paid a lot, honestly, but it gave me a sense of purpose, almost, versus just sitting here feeling utterly useless because I didn't have my own money and had to rely on my husband. So I only got like maybe $150. We don't even need an extra income for myself, but again, it made me feel better rather than just sitting at home. My daughter can be a bit self-absorbed and only thinks of herself and her gain a lot of the time. She asked me yesterday if she could start up her own dog walking company, and I brushed off the idea because I'm not having my tween walking the streets with dogs. I don't feel it's safe, and I physically cannot go with her currently. So I said no. She was angry with me. When my client came to pick up her pup last night, my daughter came down and told her that she should stop paying me to watch the dog and pay her $1 a day because she would do a better job, and said I have the dog all day every day. My mom doesn't do anything. This is a bald-faced lie. She walked her once yesterday, and the rest of the time I had the pup. I did correct my daughter at that point and say, "No, you didn't. I had her all day, and you walked her once." But apparently it made no difference, as my client texted me that night and said, "I think we'll be finding another dog sitter for the time being, as I find what your daughter said to be concerning, and I just need to make sure that my pup is getting the best care. I hope you understand." I immediately went to my daughter's room and told her she was grounded for a month because she cost me my job. I took all her electronics from her, and it means she'll not be able to attend a friend's party next week. She cried and told me she didn't mean to, but this isn't the first time she's done something to jeopardize things for me and her father for her own gain, and certainly not the first time she's been spoken to about it either. My husband says maybe I pushed it too far, and that groundation seems extreme. However, my daughter was fully aware that this income made me feel good about myself for the first time during this pregnancy, and she just knowingly ruined it for me simply because she wanted to make $1 a day. She actually makes around $40 a week from her father by doing chores around the house. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your daughter needs to know that actions have consequences. She needs to learn that "didn't mean to" doesn't absolve her of responsibility or consequences. Don't back down, and do try to get your husband on board. He's not doing his daughter any kindness by letting her behavior continue. 11 is well old enough to know better. I'd also tell her that the next time, and into the foreseeable future, she asks you to buy anything, no, we can't afford it now that I'm not making any money. Info: Have you spoken to your daughter about how she feels regarding her incoming sibling? This is important. This apparently entitled child may go off the deep end when a sibling enters the family. It won't be all or mostly even about her anymore. Yes, I have. She's very excited to have a baby sister. She is trying to get us to put the nursery in her room so she can get up with the baby at night and says it's her baby. I don't think the issue is with our new addition, but I could be wrong. There could be some underlying issues that she isn't discussing with us. This money issue was also happening well before the baby was even announced, so I don't feel that they're connected. This is extremely concerning. She's a tween, stepping on other people to earn more money, obsessing over money, habitually lying by your own admission, and also trying to convince you, her mother, to allow her to parent her incoming sibling because it's her baby. I was also incredibly money-focused at that age, a real Scrooge. Money's fascinating to kids, but the way how she's willing to steal her mother's job and baby? Whoa, whoa, whoa. OP, this is not okay. You seriously need to get her help. Her baby? Does she want the nursery in her room? She took your job away. What's next? I'm the mom now? She has control issues, OP. Your husband is creating a monster. Stand your ground and tell him to get on board, or at least act like he is, so as not to undermine you. Nip this in the bud now, or the next 7 years will be a nightmare for you. I, female 18, have a half-sister, Emma, 29, but not her real name. There's a lot of conflict between our parents that involve cheating. Me and Emma have the same mom, but different dads. I had more of a distant cousin relationship with Emma growing up and only saw her on special occasions. I never really knew what she was up to. Emma and her daughter, kindergartner, moved into my mom's apartment with us a few months ago because she was having financial trouble. She's a single mom, and the dad was never in the picture. Here's where I get to where I might be the idiot. My niece essentially has the same name as me, except the C is replaced with a K. So for the story's sake, let's say my name's Chloe with a C. My niece's name is Chloe with a K. Not her actual names, just an example. Emma didn't name her after me and said she liked the name. Fair enough. Now that they're living with us, and I have to use her name a lot more, it has felt weird to call her by the same name I go by. And it's also gotten confusing. I've started calling my niece Special K as a nickname. She loves it and thinks it's cool and calls me Auntie C. Emma brought it up with me in private and asked that I stop calling her the nickname. She says it comes off as disrespectful, that the nickname's not her name, and that she gave her a real name for a reason. I was a bit floored by this, and I said it's not that serious. So long as niece likes it, what's the problem? Emma said it's not difficult to call her by her actual name, and said I won't understand because I'm not a parent. I didn't want to upset Emma over something so trivial, so I tried to call my niece by her actual name again. But then niece got upset and asked why I wouldn't call her Special K anymore when it's our thing. I felt guilty and reverted back to the nickname, but now Emma's super angry with me and won't hear me out on my side here. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and I'm giving the older sister the side eye for naming her daughter the same name as her younger sister while insisting she's not named after you. I just like the name. Then pulling this attempted power move of insisting OP calls her niece by her own name. She's literally trying to steal her sister's name and replace sister Chloe with a baby Chloe. It's the most disrespectful thing she could possibly do, and trying to enforce the name with this worthless nonsense about being prim and proper about names is beyond the pale. The sister is a total idiot here, and the nickname should stand. OP, throw your sister under the bus. Tell your niece her mom won't let you. The only person who gets to decide if they want a nickname is the person whose nickname it is. If your niece asked you to stop and you didn't, You would be the idiot, but she wants you to call her that, so that's it. Also, you guys need to come up with a nickname for Emma, Grumpy E, so long as it was pronounced Grumpy E.